Hi again, Ralph here, and what we're going to do is we're going to show statistically through my very amateurish Python data science skills that there is zero, or I should say very weak correlation between any testing, or I should say positive test for COVID, and hospitalization increases. Now again, I'm very humble, so there's something I could do better in reference to the analysis. Please educate me. However, though, let us begin. This is also get other individuals interested in data science as well. And what we're going to be utilizing here is data from COVID tracking. I'm going to post this code online. So if you wanted to pull up this information into a CSV file, you can even throw it into an Excel spreadsheet. Now, this data is all up to date from COVID tracking, and we are going to be pulling all the way up to September 12th, 2020, and it is currently 1:42 a.m. September 13th, 2020. So let us begin. Now what we're going to do is we are going to pull certain columns here. We're going to look at increase in death, increases in hospitalizations, and increasing in the number of positive COVID cases. The objective here, I shouldn't say objective, what we're showing here is there's virtually no correlation between positive increases in COVID and hospitalization increases. And if the objective was to flatten the curve, well, you'll get the point. So let us run this data here. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to run a scatter plot. The scatter plot is going to determine whether there's any linear relationship between tested positive increased cases and hospitalization increases. For those not familiar with data science, what you expect to see if there's a correlation is some sort of line going through here like that, and we are all over the board. So that's pretty much going to indicate that we probably do not have a correlation between positive cases and hospitalization increases. So this gives me a good indicator because we're going to have to determine what type of data analysis to run to determine if there's a correlation, whether parametric or non-parametric, and whether it should be spearmanr, kendalltau, or pearsonr. So let's run our paraplot real fast, and you're going to see a bunch of little graphs pop up, which are kind of cool. And boom, ba boom, boom, ba boom, ba boom. Eventually, someday, soon, there we go. All right, I'm not seeing a bell curve here. So that's going to pretty much indicate to me I probably do not have enough data samples to run a pearsonr or spearmanr. So that's going to keep me more towards the Kendal. Now, the one thing I do notice here in reference to this is I'm noticing a little bit of a linear, actually I'm showing us a lot of a linear, but I'm going to run a spearmanr just because I'm not seeing a straight line as opposed to a kendalltau in reference to the hospitalization increases and the death increases. Now here's where I'm going to run a kendalltau. You see the positive increases here, so the increases in death, there's virtually no correlation. It's like all across the board. Same thing right here. So this is where I run the kendalltau. Again, not seeing a curve, maybe not enough samples, but you'll get the point in a second. Let us begin. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to do a little data maintenance there, get our date column set up on there. I'm going to run the head of it just to play it safe to make sure everything recorded properly. All right, now here we go. Is there a correlation between positive cases of COVID and hospitalization increases? If our objective is to flatten the curve, you'd want to see less positive increases. But does it make a difference? Is there any relationship whatsoever? Is there any relationship between number of additional positive cases of COVID and increases in death? We'll see that. Is there a relationship between increase in hospitalization and increases in death? Well, here we go. You ready? Boom, boom, boom. And there is our correlation. Now, keep in mind, for a correlation, you probably want to get a little higher to 50, 60%. But right now, through kendalltau, we are not seeing virtually any correlation, negative or positive. Same thing in reference to positive increases in COVID and death increases, positive increases in COVID and hospitalization increases. Again, if you want to prove me wrong, I am more than welcome to see that. You have access to the exact same data that the rest of us have. Now, increase in hospitalization, increases in death. Now, that could be for a variety of reasons, but yeah, we are seeing a pretty strong correlation. But there's a caveat to that. So let us begin checking out the other charts here. It's just to visualize it. This will give you a good idea visually You don't get to see this stuff on the news. This is why I wanted to break it down for you. Look at this. This is your positive cases. This is your hospitalization increases. All right, you see right there? You're not seeing it. You're not seeing it. And again, you don't find this being reported on the TV or the news. And all of us have access to the data. There's a lot of brilliant people in math and statistics. I mean, brilliant. I'm in awe of them. But they're doing things like checking out the massive black holes in a multidimensional universe, not really paying attention to this. All right, and this goes up all the way up to the current date of September 12th. Now we're going to run a few more of them, and I just want to get the data set up first. And now here we go. Now this is giving you a little bit of a time series aspect. So let's run it through, and this is going to be the last 30 days. So this gives you more perspective. This is your positive case increase of COVID coming in. This is your hospitalization increase coming in as well, all the way up to about 196, which I believe is September 12th. And there's your legend there. Do you see any relationship visually? Not trying to give publisher bias, but not really. So there's your numbers right there. All right, now we're going to do the next thing in reference to hospitalization increases and death increases. And there's one tragic perspective I am going to show you here. All right, then here we are. This is from the beginning of the whole dilemma. Now, what I would like to see, or like to see if treatment was improving, is bigger gaps. Because as more people being hospitalized, you'd expect to see this gap between hospitalization increases and death increases be further apart. Kind of like this. A lot of people go to the hospital, but not many people being harmed, or I should say being cured or treated well. But we're not. Overall, we're seeing this. Now, the ups and downs could be through reporting issues in regard to reporting on weekends and so on and so forth. And again, this is data for the entire United States. So let's put this in a time series, and we are going to run it through for 3 months. And let's give it a shot real fast. Here we go. Whoop. Visually, that was wrong there. And so take a look to ponder in regard to blue being hospitalization increases and increases in the death rate. Now, this is the pure data. This is not me attempting to draw a correlation or use math or whatever it is. This is just the numbers as they come in. And again, the cool part about this, even if you're not great with Python, or you can just throw it into R, depending what you want to utilize. A lot of the biostatisticians out there use R, but even you could download it, throw it into an Excel spreadsheet, and let Excel do the work for you. The more people we can get involved in the data analysis, as opposed to relying on these talking heads in reference to the news, or bureaucrats which don't understand much in reference to statistics, and a lot of individuals in statistics are frustrated by that, give you your own perspective. Make your own news. Research your own. That's what I'm trying to encourage. And that's a great thing about knowing Python and other data analysis methods. And there you are. Look at that. Fits like a key. And tragically, the difference between the hospitalization and the death has not grown that much. I expect to see better treatment, reference more of a gap there, but it's not. And I don't know what to do about that. I mean, personally, from my aspect, that is tragic. However, though, in reference to positive cases and hospitalization increases, there's no correlation. Hospitalization increases and death increases, yeah, once you're in the hospital, I would expect to see better advances. All right, so let us begin here. Let's go down to here. Now we are going to run something called of these squares, and I'm just going to print it out directly. The first one is going to be in reference to this scatter plot right there. Again, you'll basically, those familiar will show that there is, through these squares, regression models, there are virtually no relationship between people testing positive and burden on the hospitals. That's the objective. Positive cases of COVID are not increasing any burden on the hospitals like a lot of politicians are claiming. Again, humble. If I did something wrong in reference to data, I am more than welcome to be corrected. All right, now we are going to go to the next one. We're going to run a scatter plot in reference to hospitalization increases and increases in death. There's that. And I am going to run the last regression model just for the statisticians out there. And there is our data. Again, Ralph signing off. I'll post as much of this code online as I possibly can. I'm a very, very, very beginner when it comes to data analysis. I chose kendalltau in a lot of them and spearmanr. Again, from my opinion, there wasn't enough samples, and I didn't see a strong enough correlation in any of them linear-wise. I didn't try to balance on things logarithmic-wise either to utilize a Pearson. Again, correct me to make sure I could do it better, and next time I'll even present a better review. Again, Ralph Turchiano signing off. Zero correlation to no correlation between positive test cases and hospitalization increases. And if the objective was to reduce the burden on hospitals, well, there you are. Catch you all next time. Bye.